Hello and welcome to this episode of Spirit Rising. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I am your host and commentator, Shirt Donovan. To start things off tonight, we have an exciting debut in the junior division. Luis Ortega debuting tonight against Mervyn Wallace, a newcomer in his own right to the junior division. This should be a very high-impact clash here. Mervyn Wallace has proven to be a very tough wrestler, but we have no idea what Luis Ortega is capable of. He'll start things off here with some corner control and a beautiful show of athleticism early on from Luis Ortega. Lama Histral Cradle. Not even a one count. Mervyn Wallace still fresh out the gate here, and he'll go for it again, connecting again. Luis Ortega, a showman if nothing else, and now dropping the elbow across the back of Mervyn Wallace's head. Soul butt kick is off target. Mervyn Wallace in control again, slamming Luis Ortega to the outside. Ortega now slamming Wallace into the steel railing there, but Wallace answering right back with a slam on the outside, targeting the arm again of Ortega. Fireman's carry.
10, 11, 12.
Both men back into the ring. Mervyn Wallace rolling through in control of the leg now. Burt Wiggins signaling for a break. Luis Ortega looking for corner control once more. Soul butt kick, and he'll try this maneuver again. Beautiful kick carrying through all that momentum. Luis Ortega giving the people at home what they want, and now just a DDT spiking Mervyn Wallace into the mat. He'll try a pin here. 2 count for Luis Ortega. And a DDT again. 2. Mervyn Wallace able to get the shoulder up before 3. A couple of soul butt kicks, only one of them connecting, and now dropping down here for a crossface. Beautiful maneuver from Mervyn Wallace, trying to turn the momentum in his favor. Luis Ortega trying to gain positional advantage, and you see him slowing down after that forearm with a side headlock takedown. In control is Luis Ortega. Lama Histral Cradle on the mind here. 2 count. Mervyn Wallace still in this contest. Going for a cutter there. Ortega had it miscalculated. Drops to the mat again and again and again. Mervyn Wallace testing the conditioning here, and Luis Ortega done with the games, trying an Irish whip of his own. Offense scouted. These two junior division competitors really testing each other, and a sling blade finally connecting for Luis Ortega. High angle drop kick now. Big slam. Ortega looking so impressive in his debut, and now that nasty boots across the face there to Mervyn Wallace. No offense. Wallace too quick to his feet. Irish whip again from Ortega. Huge lariat connects. High angle drop kick again. The athleticism of Luis Ortega on full display here at Spirit Rising. Fisherman Buster. No pin from Luis Ortega. Inverted DDT. Targeting the arm again is Mervyn Wallace, trying to rally here against seemingly an unstoppable Luis Ortega. Snapmare takedown. Goes for the Irish whip, drops to the mat again. Will it work out in his favor this time? No, a collision instead, working out in favor of Luis Ortega, apparently the fresher man. And now Mervyn Wallace in a bad predicament here. Ortega proving to be a competent mat wrestler as well. But what can Wallace do to stay in this contest? Drop kick again, landing for Luis Ortega. Drop toe hold for Wallace now. And again. Mervyn Wallace keeping it simple, trying to regain some ground against Ortega. To the ropes now. Tremendous lariat connecting full on for Wallace, making him run again. Drops to the mat. And this time that Hurricane Rana right on the money for Mervyn Wallace. Snap suplex now, but Luis Ortega first to his feet. Could it be too little too late on the side of Mervyn Wallace? Looking for corner control now. Trying for running offense of his own, but instead Luis Ortega reversing the scenario. And now Mervyn Wallace in a high-risk situation. What could Ortega have in mind? Beautiful run off the top rope there. He'll try a pin.
10 minutes.
And that's it. Luis Ortega with the run off the top rope, planting Mervyn Wallace onto the mat and picking up a win in his debut here at Spirit Rising. Impressive stuff to be sure out of our newest junior division competitor. Moving on, folks, we now have Mantis versus Hana Nishikawa, a hotly contested match in the women's division. Mantis, a relative newcomer, still looking for her first win. Hana Nishikawa, still green in her own right to the women's division. So these two should have still a lot to prove in the ring. Let's go there now. Official Kim Carrillo getting us underway. Snapmare takedown early for Mantis, looking to regain a little bit of the support that she drew in her pay-per-view debut. Teaming with Vuelo de Miedo, she was so impressive in that matchup, but still in singles competition, unable to earn herself a victory. Snap suplex. Mantis delivering most of the offense here early on. Big kick connecting across the face of Hana Nishikawa, who will try an Irish whip of her own. Clothesline is scouted. Swinging neck breaker on the money for Nishikawa. Irish whip reversal, corner control now for Mantis. Basement dropkick taking out the leg of Hana Nishikawa. Nishikawa will need those legs to use her striking-based offense. You see the knee lift there. Mantis fighting her way out of the corner. Snap suplex, reversing the situation. Big knee lift again from Nishikawa. Mantis now in control of the arm. Forearms gaining ground here, and Mantis sending Hana Nishikawa to the mat. Nishikawa may have met her match in terms of a striker. Wow, huge move there, the Eviscerator. The Eviscerator from Mantis, could that be all?
2, 3.
And it's over. Mantis with a huge victory, making quick work of Hana Nishikawa with the Eviscerator out of nowhere. And it looks to be a move that you do not want to get caught in there in the women's division. Sending a message throughout the locker room certainly is Mantis here. Hana Nishikawa has picked up so many impressive victories since her debut, but instantly falling prey to the Eviscerator from Mantis. Moving on, folks, we have a match in the men's tag division between Afterimage and former champions Deadly Encounter. Deadly Encounter still has a rematch clause in the chamber to make use of against Wondrous Bear. We find them in action here tonight against Afterimage. Let's see if they can regain a bit of their confidence heading into what I'm sure will be a use of that rematch clause. Michio Kawaguchi in early for Deadly Encounter, facing off against Richie Prince of Afterimage. Two-step kick is off target. Now trying a pin is Richie Prince, not even down for a 1 count. Senior official Norio Nakatomi on duty for this one. Big rolling stunner there from Michio Kawaguchi. Looking good here is one half of the former tag champions. You know, they're almost looking through Afterimage tonight on their way to enacting their rematch clause. For now, Michio Kawaguchi finding himself in a bad situation, but now a hip toss, maybe turning things around for the Spider. Jump up Rana there. Michio Kawaguchi looking good here. Mateo Espina now in for Afterimage. Taking out the legs of Kawaguchi. Little display of athleticism. Standing moonsault. Afterimage have proven to be quite a cocky team since their debut, although they've had limited success. Tag team maneuver here from Deadly Encounter. Nikita Belkov, the Shark, now in for Deadly Encounter. The strength of Nikita Belkov handling Mateo Espina like it's nothing for an incredible brainbuster there. Now a rear chin lock. Norio Nakatomi checking for the submission. Mateo Espina trying to create separation for a tag, and he does. Tag team maneuver now from Afterimage. Both members of Afterimage teaming together to lift up the much larger Nikita Belkov, depositing him on the outside. And he packages him with the powerbomb counter there from Nikita Belkov. Jumping soul butt kick on target for Richie Prince, who runs right into a slam. And now Nikita Belkov in control of the leg. Mateo Espina running interference now. He's got him up. Blood in the water. Blood in the water connecting for Nikita Belkov. And that's it. The blood in the water. Nikita Belkov and Michio Kawaguchi still with a rematch clause in the bank. You know, are looking right up to the top of the mountain. Wondrous Bear just recently lifted those belts off of Deadly Encounter. We will be seeing that matchup in the weeks to come, I'm sure. But for now, the ball in the court of Deadly Encounter as they look to challenge the champions somewhere down the road. Folks, we're now moving on to a match in the heavyweight division between Dead End Dai Fukunaga and the ever-shining Hideaki Adachi. This should be a hard-hitting affair. Dai Fukunaga, a competitor who just likes to inflict pain, and Hideaki Adachi, just an absolute specimen of professional wrestling. And a huge kick you see to start things off there for Hideaki Adachi, but now Dai Fukunaga answering back quickly with some roughness of his own. Takedown for Adachi, repositioning Dai Fukunaga now, and just kicks him mercilessly on the ground there. Hideaki Adachi showing no mercy. We've heard in interviews before that Adachi considers Dai Fukunaga to be a disingenuous competitor, drawing the ire of one of our finest athletes. Dai Fukunaga with a rake to the eyes there, and then a closed fist punch right to the face. Those are legal here in Super Spirit Wrestling. Of course, not the rake to the eyes. Official Lenny Spencer not catching that one. And Hideaki Adachi now in control with an ankle lock. Punch is blocked. That time the kick answered from Dai Fukunaga. And he uses another kick to work his way out of the corner looking for a pin. Just a 1 count, says Lenny Spencer. The conditioning advantage certainly goes to Hideaki Adachi, and you see some well-placed strikes there from the ever-shining Hideaki Adachi. Certainly a fan favorite in the heavyweight division. Now on the receiving end of some offense from Fukunaga, battling back, though, with some kicks to the midsection, and another one for good measure. Looking for another ankle lock, perhaps. Dai Fukunaga had it scouted. Tremendous slam there, and Fukunaga not giving chase, instead taking a moment to regain some energy. Usually we would see Fukunaga go to that outside realm where he's most comfortable. Now another ankle lock. Hideaki Adachi in control. Big DDT from Adachi. No pin attempt. Instead, just a brutal kick to the back of Fukunaga, now in leg control. Shote combination from Adachi, leaving him stunned. Huge axe kick from Hideaki Adachi. He'll try for a pin here.
1, 2.
Dai Fukunaga kicking out of a brutal sequence from Adachi, answering back now with a slam. Tremendous forearm there from Fukunaga, stomping the body now of the ever-shining Hideaki Adachi. Inside cradle now.
1, 2.
Irish whip. Tremendous knee from Hideaki Adachi. The striking prowess on display, but he's unable to take advantage, and now Fukunaga just biting the face of Hideaki Adachi. Tremendous headbutt to follow. Dai Fukunaga just throwing Adachi down to the mat. Adachi trying to hang in here. Now in the clutches again of Fukunaga. More biting to the face. Lenny Spencer doing the best he can to deter that behavior. And you see Fukunaga proud of what he's done. Adachi's blood all over the mat. Now Adachi rallying with a drop toe hold. He's got him scouted in the corner. Tremendous knee. Fukunaga almost immediately to his feet, though, and now the dead end, center of the ring. And now, is that a fork? Lenny Spencer giving him to the count of 5 here. In my opinion, it should be an outright disqualification, but so many officials afraid to deal with people like Dai Fukunaga, who have definitely shown a rougher side, almost a criminalistic side here in Super Spirit Wrestling. Tremendous rallying maneuver from Hideaki Adachi, now scouting Fukunaga from the top rope. Textbook dropkick connecting. Knees to the back of the head. Will we see a stoppage here? Fukunaga has definitely angered Hideaki Adachi, but a tremendous slap, ending the rally. Blood pouring from Adachi now. You see it all over his chest. Move is scouted. Hip toss. A rallying DDT from Hideaki Adachi. He'll need to look to put this one away quickly here as he's losing more and more blood. Tremendous kick, but he needs to close it out. Bridges on the German, rolls through. Another German. Rope break signaled by Lenny Spencer. Unfortunate for Hideaki Adachi. And again, the slap of Fukunaga, sending him to the mat. Irish whip now. Things looking critical for Hideaki Adachi. Rallying now with an elbow. Tremendous headbutt, though, from Fukunaga, and there is so much blood loss from Hideaki Adachi. Collision in favor of neither man. Adachi to his feet. Pele kick. And the axe kick again from Hideaki Adachi. So much damage sustained on both sides, but you gotta believe that Hideaki Adachi is low on gas here. Tremendous clothesline, turning Fukunaga inside out. Could he be calling for it? Poison Rana. I thought he could have been looking for Rising Bright there, instead opting for the Poison Rana. Knee to the midsection. And here's the knees from Hideaki Adachi, and that's it! Adachi hanging on here against Fukunaga and forcing a stoppage. Lenny Spencer calling for a stoppage. The knees of Hideaki Adachi proving too much for Dai Fukunaga, and wow, what a performance there from Adachi, hanging on against the treacherous offense of Dai Fukunaga. If Dai Fukunaga had gone for a pin after the dead end, we could be looking at a different result here, but Hideaki Adachi coming all the way back from that deficit for a victory. Folks, now we're going to move on to a match in the women's division. Kira Kita taking on Natasha Watson. These two have never locked up in a Super Spirit Wrestling ring before, and I'm expecting this to be an exciting confrontation. We'll be taking you to the ring shortly for that contest.
Fight!
Burt Wiggins on duty for this one, and thank you to our ring cleanup crew. You see the mat in pristine condition following that brutal matchup between Dai Fukunaga and Hideaki Adachi. Kira Kita in control here early with some submission offense. Burt Wiggins signaling for a break. Watson now trapping the arm and using her own momentum and body weight for extra impact there. Now the signature elbows out of Kira Kita. She'll try a pin. Another break signaled by Burt Wiggins. What a slap across the face of Natasha Watson, and then a huge headbutt. Kira Kita pulling no punches here tonight. Now a backdrop. Natasha Watson struggling to find an opening, and there it is with a punch. Answered back with a punch of her own, and a huge slap again from Kira Kita. So many rope breaks, though, signaled by Burt Wiggins. Kira Kita would do well to increase her ring presence throughout this contest. Both women trying for some offense there, neither landing. Natasha Watson now back in control. Elbow to Kira Kita. Knees across the back. Targeting the arm again is Natasha Watson, and rolling out to maybe regain some energy. Size up her opponent. Both women approaching one another on the outside now. Slamming each other into the apron. Tremendous kick connecting for Kira Kita. Arm drag takedown, count of 9 now. And the elbows again from Kira Kita.
14, 15, 16, 17.
Count of 17. Kira Kita rolling in. Natasha Watson back in at the count of 18. Irish whip. Kira Kita puts on the brakes. twice over, but Watson looking to keep her in the corner, and a striking competition breaking out between these two women's division competitors. Tremendous drop kick from Natasha Watson, the exclamation point at the end of that conversation. Knee lift from Kirikita, and here now the knees from Kirikita. We just saw Hideaki Adachi take a win over Dai Fukunaga with that exact tactic. Could we see a repeat of that performance here from Kirikita? Chin crusher there from Natasha Watson, and now the knees across the face and now across the body. Irish whip from Kirikita, low kick sending Watson to the mat. And now again, the elbows of Kirikita right on the mark. Irish whip, Kirikita looking a little bit winded, but what a slam there. Watson immediately to her feet, but Kirikita not losing any steam there. Backdrop now. Natasha Watson in big trouble. She sustained a lot of offense throughout this sequence. Submission maneuver here from Kirikita. Natasha Watson in huge trouble. Several limbs trapped. Watson manages to find a way out. Watson's been targeting that arm all match long. We know Kirikita has the Kirikita combination, her favorite way to end a match. Pele kick off target there. Yeah. And there it is, the JLT, just like that from Natasha Watson. 1, 2. Near fall for Natasha Watson. Kirikita kicking out of the JLT, and Watson snapping the fingers of Kirikita now. Just that nasty offense. And again, more fingers snapped. Natasha Watson in full control here late in this matchup. Sends Kirikita to the outside. What is she looking for here? And just fakes Kirikita out. Kirikita definitely bracing for impact, as were I'm sure the viewers at home, but Natasha Watson instead taunting Kirikita, who looks for another kick that is off target. JLT! Both women down. Natasha Watson maybe too late here for a pinfall. She's going for it anyway. 2. And indeed, Natasha Watson picking up a win here over Kirikita, the JLT, proving too much. Kirikita had plenty of time to come to her senses, but Watson still picking up a victory there after that second JLT. Congratulations to her. A hard loss for Kirikita for sure. But we now have to move on, folks, to a match in the junior division. Adrian Bell, fresh off of his first loss ever. He is now 4-1 in the junior division. He's now taking on Have Mercy Percy Chapman. This should be an interesting contest, folks. We'll be taking you to the ring shortly for that one. And then we will have our main event for the night, the Luminaries, taking on Vuelo de Miedo in the women's tag division. Early penitent for Percy Chapman earns a 1 count from official Kim Carrillo. Snapmare takedown now from Adrian Bell. What a brainbuster there from Bell. Snapmare takedown. Percy Chapman now with a snap suplex, trying to turn the momentum in his favor early on. Adrian Bell with a couple of big punches to the top of the head. Tremendous lariat now on the money for Bell. Pair of strikes connects. Pull through clothesline. Percy Chapman, I thought, was looking for an Irish whip there, but instead just a lethal clothesline. Corner control for Bell. Adrian Bell has only sustained 1 loss since his debut in Super Spirit Wrestling. That was to current #1 contender of the junior division, Cameron Reese. Reese also a former champion, but now Adrian Bell, the bell ringer right on the money. 2. And that's it. Adrian Bell with the bell ringer, immediately disposing of Percy Chapman, continuing his reign of dominance. Only 1 loss, now 5-1 is Adrian Bell, and my goodness, what quick work he just made of Percy Chapman. Probably the most threatening he's looked since his debut. Well, folks, now rolling right into the main event here, we are going to have the Luminaries taking on Vuelo de Miedo, two star teams of the women's tag division. This should be a hard-hitting affair for sure. Kauriokawa and Nona Ford have proven to be a force since their debut. They are one of the newest tag teams in the women's tag division. We see them now taking on one of the biggest threats since the very start of Super Spirit Wrestling. Kauriokawa in the ring against La Grifa for Vuelo de Miedo. Boston Crab here, La Grifa in control against Kauriokawa. Irish whip reversal. Tremendous headbutt, and now just a blatant choke in front of senior official Norio Nakatomi, who's on the count. Could be blood coming from the forehead of Kauriokawa following that headbutt. Indeed, I see some on the mat there toward the center. Standing moonsault from La Grifa. To the ropes now, knees across the body. Tag made to La Gargola, getting her first action of the match, as is Nona Ford. Nona Ford trying for a drop kick there off target. And you see the power of Nona Ford, the powerlifting background, coming into play here at Spirit Rising. Trying for the pin, center of the ring, just earning a 1 count. Snapmare takedown. La Gargola trying to regain some ground against Nona Ford. Collision in favor of neither woman, but then a side headlock takedown. Right on the money for Ford. La Gargola now looking for a pin here. Just a 1 count. Tag made to Kauriokawa. Tag team maneuver incoming. Beautiful maneuver there. Powerbomb neck breaker combination from the Luminary. Swinging neck breaker now. Further damaging the neck of La Gargola, now earning herself a rope break. And looking for a tag. La Grifa now in for Vuelo de Miedo.
5 minutes gone.
Tremendous lariat. Looking to take flight. The frog splash off the top rope. Kauriokawa able to continue. Tag made to Nona Ford. Big kicks delivered from La Grifa. Leg trap takedown, rear chin lock in effect here from Nona Ford. Looking for some running offense there, but Ford too fast to her feet. She'll now try some offense of her own. A huge diving punch there. Dropping to the mat. And now La Grifa biting the forehead of Nona Ford. Both members of the Luminaries now bleeding. Ford with a tremendous drop kick in the corner. Now looking for a pin, just earning a 1 count is La Grifa. Nona Ford tagging in Kauriokawa for the Luminaries. Tag also made for Vuelo de Miedo. Standing switch. Beautiful backdrop from Kauriokawa. She's in no man's land, though. And a reversal there. I believe La Gargola probably looking for a Northern Light suplex. Reversed into a DDT. Standing switch again. Well executed backdrop. Kauriokawa now to the top rope. Senton. Bad predicament here from Kauriokawa, who's lost a lot of blood. Submission maneuvers making things extra tough for the Luminaries going forward. But Kauriokawa driving La Gargola to her own corner, unable to sustain that slap, and now looks to make a tag. Nona Ford back in for the Luminaries. Beautiful cutter, setting things up wonderfully for Nona Ford. Shotgun drop kick off target. Kick is off target. She'll try an Irish whip now. Tremendous kick across the body of Nona Ford. Vuelo de Miedo is a team who has come so close to women's tag glory. They were so close to the championships on multiple occasions against Troubletown. Troubletown was, of course, eventually defeated, their undefeated streak halted by current champions Diamond Deluxe. Fisherman suplex. Nona Ford rolling through with control here. Fisherman Buster. What a sequence from Nona Ford, but fatigue playing a role. Instead, she will use the time there to make a tag. Kauriokawa looking fresh, coming in with some strikes. Blatant chokehold here. Driving Kauriokawa all the way to the mat. Nona Ford having none of that, running interference before Norio Nakatomi can even give the 5 count. Enziguri to the back of the head of a dazed La Grifa. Not enough to do it in, though. This match will continue. DDT from La Grifa. And Nona Ford right there taking advantage of the disadvantageous ring position of the pinning attempt there. Knife edge chop from Kauriokawa. Tag for both teams. As we heat up here in our main event contest, the legal women targeting the other woman on the outside before turning their attention to each other again. Perhaps some malice building up here in this women's tag competition. Knees across the body. Huge suplex there from Nona Ford. That low center of gravity and that tremendous strength paying dividends. Double axe handle across the back. She's got her up. The collapser from Nona Ford. The positioning's pretty good. Could this mean victory? 1, 2. The collapser, enough to pick up a victory for the Luminaries over a very impressive team in Vuelo de Miedo. Congratulations to them on their main event victory here tonight at Spirit Rising. That's got to be firing up the fans of the Luminaries at home, to be sure. Nona Ford and Kauriokawa looking very impressive there against La Grifa y La Gargola. Well, folks, I do thank you for joining us here this evening. I hope you'll join us same place, same time tomorrow for Super Spirit Live. We have 2 championship matches. We have the Shadow Band to open us up tonight, or tomorrow night, excuse me. To start the night off, we will have a Shadow Band contest between Cameron Reese and current champion Archie Everett. And then in our main event, Chie Hamasaki using her rematch clause against Ryoko Matsui to try to reobtain championship gold. You won't want to miss it, folks. Same time, same place tomorrow. For now, for everyone here at twitch.tv and Super Spirit Wrestling, I'm Shirt Donovan. Have a good night.